All right. All right, I'm coming off. Oh. Hey family, hey family, hey family. It is your girl, Miss Michelle Allen Franklin. Yes, Mrs. Michelle DIY for divine intervention, honey, because you know that there are no coincidences in this world. Only God's divine intervention in our lives. And Mrs. Community Builder, why? Because you know your girl is going to give you the good information, boo, the things you need for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions. And you know I'm always introducing you to amazing people. And today I have, yes, in the building, Miss Haya Devonish is here with us because why? It's Women's Month and we're celebrating amazing women, and she is an amazing woman in my life. Hey, boo!
Thank you so much for having me. I know we have been saying that we were going to connect and do something for a really long time, and time has been moving, but I am so grateful that it has aligned.
Yes.
To be here today. So thank you so much.
I love it. I love it. You know, I feel like God's timing is better than our timing, and so we're going with it. And this month is really, really special and important to me because I'm having women on that have inspired my walk and have inspired my journey. And you know, you are definitely on the list, boo. And so let's just go back for a minute. Let's go back. And so me and Haya know each other through another amazing woman, Miss Renita, both our mutual friend, Renita Walls. And Matt, I guess it's been, ouch, how many years? 25?
Something, yes.
I don't even know. Yes. At least 25 years ago, at least. I guess minimum, huh? At least.
I mean, you kind of aging us, so we can say in the 20s.
We'll say 20 plus. That sounds good. That sounds good. Okay. 20 plus years ago. Yes. One of the things that have always, just amazed me about you, Haya, is that you and Nita both decided to move. Did not know anyone in the Atlanta area, and just was like, I'm out and I'm going to Atlanta. Tell us a little bit about, like, I'm just jumping right into it. Like, tell us a little bit about that journey and how did you make that decision? Like, that was just like, I just can't even.
So I can give you the perspective of 21, 22-year-old me.
Okay.
And I can give you the perspective of hindsight, understanding kind of what precipitated that move. So I originally am from Indiana, and all of my family was there, and I had never even been to Georgia. But what was happening during that time was I had decided that I was not going to be able to be happy there. Like, I always felt like there was something more for me to discover, see, experience. And so 22-year-old was like, go see the world, go create this life, and change name, change your hair, change your man, just go.
I love it.
In hindsight, looking back on it, I realized that it was part of my escape from my own story. So I left and I came to visit, and I never went home. I decided when I got here, home would have to be wherever I was. And it doesn't mean that I didn't have a supportive family. My mother was always there, but there was something in me that said home has to be where you go, right? You have to, you need to get out there. And so I got a Greyhound ticket and I came to Georgia, and I decided that if it got bad, I could always go home. I had a strong enough support system.
Yeah.
I could call and say, and enough, I knew that I wouldn't be shamed, at least by this person, to be able to call my mother and say, I didn't get it right. I need to come home. So I left with that bit of understanding about myself and about my family. So I set out, I came here, and I took a job as a live-in nanny.
Wow.
provided me a safe place to live, a job, and a salary, right? So that was enough.
Wow, that's so smart.
Right? I always had a little bit of adventure,
Yes.
a whole lot of God in me, right? And
Love
so
that.
I was
A
able to
little adventure, a whole lot of God. Hang on. Wait a minute. A little adventure and a whole, I need to let that simmer. A little adventure, but a whole lot of God. Come on, girl.
Yeah.
Come on.
So it was reasonable caution, right? And so
Yeah.
it may not have always made sense to other people, but that whole lot of God allowed for a little bit of discernment. So I accepted a job, and I had been working this job. And I remember I always loved poetry, and I loved the arts, and I loved that vibe that I didn't get a lot of in my hometown initially. So I found this beautiful place in Atlanta to go to. And that's where I met our mutual friend, right? And she also felt like we were supposed to connect. We were there at the same time. And you know how you just meet people and it's like, I don't know how you fit into my story, but I know that you are a permanent part of my story.
Yes.
And so that's how I met her, which shortly after is how I met you, right? And I started attaching myself to all these beautiful people that she knows and all these beautiful people that I know. And so our stories intertwined in that way. Fast forward, that was the journey.
Oh my gosh. Hiya, I did not even know that part about the living nanny part. And just, man, that took a lot of faith, and I try to talk about those little whispers, and being obedient to the spirit in you, and being true to yourself, because fear will hold you back from so much. And I love it. It was a little adventure and a whole lot of God. I love that. And so talk a little bit about, so you come to Atlanta. I know you and Nita met they both were just at this, event, right? Just like a mic night, right? And happen to sit next to each other. You know your girl don't believe in coincidences. Happen.
Right, of all the nights happen, and
all the nights and all the people.
And I said something like, "Hey, girl, I like your hair," and we and just so it was. What showed up was vulnerability with fear. When you are overcoming fear, when you are deciding that I am going to face my fear, it puts you in a very vulnerable state, because that means you're doing the thing that you weren't comfortable doing. So now you have to have conversations or move in a way that's uncomfortable. And so as kind of a more introverted person, I knew that I needed to build my tribe here. If I was going to be okay in this new place, I needed to find people and surround myself with people who I could love and trust, and they could, I could trust them, and vice versa. So I just said hello, which was genuine. It was authentic. And I was open to her story, and she was open to mine. And we decided, okay, you're safe enough. I don't think you run me into nothing crazy.
Again, that discernment kicking in, right?
Yeah, like, okay, now I know somebody can hold me accountable. That was the other thing. It's like, when we're left to our own devices sometimes and there's nobody to answer to, we kind of push it a little bit. And you find people to hold you accountable on your journey of self-discovery in a loving way, not in criticism, in a loving way. And that's what our friendship became. And so that's even the friendship that you and I have, is just holding each other accountable as we figure this thing out in a loving way.
Yes. Oh gosh, I love that. Just what the ripple effect of a hey girl.
Yeah.
The ripple effect, because what you guys don't know, that we haven't said yet, is, this 20-year friendship turned into now, it was just hanging out and, going together. But then it was, y'all living together and being that for each other. And then it was, we're having kids, and what does that look like? And now it's Auntie Haya and Auntie Nita, and all of the things. And it's this whole family dynamic from a hey girl.
It was a hey girl, and then it was okay, I see so much value and beauty and trust. And what
Yes.
we decided to do is spend our lives together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can have that in a non-romantic way, right? I
Exactly.
I have a whole husband and have had another, right? And
And
but
of course, of course.
right, but you can decide and
It's the
attach
power.
say, I'm going to spend my life with this person,
Yes.
meaning where my wins and successes will also be their wins and successes. And
Yes.
our families will be each other's families, and we will
Yes.
grow and learn together. And so, yes, that did look like 20s. We partied together. We traveled the
Yes.
country and overseas. We went places together.
Yes.
We did things that 20-year-olds do. In our 30s, we focus more a little bit on figuring out who we were, right? Really,
Yes.
that just self-discovery and like
Yes.
these are our values. And so by 30s we were living together. So my
Mhm.
story kind of landed me married and then divorced with two children.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
hers, how she'll tell her story, but hers landed her having a beautiful son. And we
Mhm.
realized if we can come together to party, we can come together to build.
Yes.
And so we
Say
can,
that again. Say
yeah,
that again on the sister friend front. If we can
yeah,
come together to party, we can come together to build. And what a beautiful foundation.
yeah,
Yes. Come on now. If we could come together to party, we could, girl, we got to staple that. Yes.
yeah.
Put that on a t-shirt.
It's not always fun and games. Sometimes you need
Yes.
somebody to cover the night shift while you cover the day shift. And that might
Yes.
have to be your sister, right? And
Yes.
so we pulled together and decided that excellence was not just going to be an individual journey. Excellence was a collective journey for our family.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so she pursued her education and I pursued mine and our
Yes.
journeys. And I decided that I would try to keep up with her.
I know, baby. The one thing that I love, if you don't have people around you to motivate you, inspire you, empower you, you around the wrong people, and you need some new set of friends, baby. Get you some good sister friends. That's what this story is about. It's some good sister friends to empower you, to inspire you to get to your next level. Not jealousy,
Yep.
not I want what you have, but what can I look at and see that and you inspire me? Oh, you did that. I can do that too. Oh, maybe
Absolutely.
I'm supposed to do more. What else am I supposed to do?
Mhm, mhm.
And isn't
And
that beautiful?
having the support while you do it, right? What
Yes.
would just our journeys look like if we had more people to just say, "I got you. I got you."
Yes.
Yeah, I won't let you fail. I'm not gonna fail, so I'm not gonna let you fail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Mhm.
I love it. I love it. Oh, oh God, I'm not gonna start crying. Look, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not gonna start crying. Oh my God, it's just so beautiful. And so, okay, so now we're in the 40s now, right? We've learned
Right.
the lessons. We're in the 40s, and this journey has taken you to where? Like, tell us where you are now.
So being able to I'm going to speak to this, having a safe space to grow and to discover yourself and people around you that can hold you up and you hold each other up allows you to follow your dreams. And
Yes.
so what that looks like is I always knew that I wanted to go into mental health, a helping, healing field. And
Mhm.
so after an 11-year career that I chose out of survival, it made good money. It's what I did for 11 years, but it did not align with my values or purpose. And
Yes.
so I stepped out with the support of
Yes.
my community, my tribe, the people that love me. I went back to school
Yeah.
and I became a marriage and family therapist in the state of Georgia.
Which is definitely your calling, boo. Definitely your calling. This girl can't fix it and put it together, honey. She gonna let you know how. I'm telling you, she gonna evaluate that thing. I think you need to do this. I think you need. She is amazing at that. So yes, I love that for you. I love that for you.
Thank
And
you.
so right now, how are you practicing? Like, what are you doing? Tell us about that.
So marriage and family therapy is, you've heard of mental health therapy, you've heard of all the different types of therapy. So marriage and family focuses on a more systemic view, meaning it looks at family influence. It doesn't just look at the pathology of a thing. You have depression. Marriage and family therapy, in my opinion, says, and what? Now what?
Yeah.
Right? How do
Yeah.
you show up, or how do you get the
Yeah.
support from the people around you, or how are the things around you influencing that? So
Yeah.
I work with a lot of individuals. I work with a lot of family members, right? Mothers, daughters, sisters, brothers, cousins. I work with a lot of couples. I do premarital counseling. I do couples counseling. And so I work currently in private practice with a little bit of community health in there. And then I do some, side things and personal endeavors. But I love the work that I do, just really helping families and people develop different communication styles and just show up for each other and themselves the way that improves their quality of life. And I'm so blessed to be able to do that.
Yes. And so I love it's not this one-stop shop. It is a holistic view. And what we need right now is that foundation, to build up and to have community. You have to start with yourself. Right? You have to start with yourself, with your mental health, with your journey. Then you can help your daughter. Then you can help your husband. Then you can help your sons. Then we all as a family collective can come together and be stronger and tighten our bond. But somewhere along the line, just in our, I think just the muster of all of the things, that has happened in the Black community, there's been a loss of this sense of family. And so I feel like, what you're doing, again, the ripple effect of what you're doing right now to build the foundation of family, to say, no, things might be a little bit messed up. 9 times out of 10, is it not communication?
It comes up a lot.
Is it not? I remember, I interviewed the president of a hospital one time, and he told me, he said 9 times out of 10, what he watched was most issues that come up. He said, no matter what level you are, where you're at in the family, executive level down to the floor, it is either you're not communicating, you're over communicating, or you're not saying enough. You're not saying enough. You're saying a little bit, but that little passive aggressive type stuff, you're not saying enough. And so can you speak to that a little bit? Like, how was that, and what have you seen in the family dynamic? Communication.
In terms of communication, we know what we know, right? We know what we know. And so there's types of theories and models that just really emphasize the value of a shared language, right? You are not able to address a problem until you're able to communicate about it in the same way. So you may be talking about apples and the other person is talking about oranges. And so you never really get to the meat of the issue because there is no shared language or shared meaning about what the problem is, right? And so we come into relationships and we're born into families and we have our own set of experiences and expectations. And sometimes based on just, the family dynamic or what we've learned, we never learn how to create a safe space for people to communicate. And we've never had a safe space. And so some of the work that I do is helping people to have difficult conversations in a way that isn't critical or blaming or hurtful, but still expresses what they feel and what their needs are. Yes, communication is a big thing, and we communicate so much hurt and pain, and then the other person doesn't validate it, and now we're angry. And so it's working with people and teaching others how to validate the human experience of the next person. Validate and say, I could see how that might have been hard for you.
Yes, which is so important. And I think it's just, again, one of the key things that are missing, because it is more so my feelings. I don't
Yeah.
care about what you think or what you feel. Right? It's my feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm hurt. And I need you to understand how I was feeling.
Mhm.
Not
Mhm.
that I hurt your feelings. That's not relevant. I
Yeah.
want you to know that you hurt me, you
Yeah.
know. And so I think that just having that conversation, and again, um priding in having the difficult conversations and helping people to understand and then just fighting fair, right?
Absolutely.
Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh.
Fighting fair. And what is the difference it would make? Think back to your last conflict with your spouse or friend or whatever, and just think about the difference it would have made if that person, before they responded or reacted, if that person would have said, okay, I could see how that could have annoyed or frustrated you. That wasn't my intent. I could see though.
Yes.
Like, if that's how you, yeah, I could see that.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
just to say, I'm sorry, and to not be so consumed with ego or this perception of weakness when
Yeah.
you identify you didn't do something the best way, to be able to say, you know what, I'm sorry, I was not trying to hurt you in that.
Yeah.
Or how freeing would it be if you were able to say the things that you really want to say in a calm and respectful manner, right? Not trying to
Yeah.
hurt people, but if you could say to somebody, I didn't like that, you hurt me, don't do that,
Yeah.
please don't do that again, I didn't
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
I feel like one of the things that happens is again, because you're hurt and you're responding from a hurt place, that you are like slicing and dicing with your
Yeah, you
words.
go to war. You go to war. Attack. Yeah.
And I know I've been guilty. I have definitely been guilty. So I'm very, very mindful, now. And I do feel like understanding that now when I am talking, I am coming from a place of love. I am coming from a place of there's no malice in this, but I just need to tell you this, or I need to get this off of me.
Yeah.
And what that looks like and how that makes you feel, because it's freeing. It's like breaking a chain,
Mhm.
because those things I feel like hold you hostage, and people don't even understand the depth of that. And so I love that.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that will say, sometimes you are just mad. Sometimes you are angry. That person has poked at something and you are like, yeah, yeah, that happens. And
Mhm.
that's a real thing. But I think instead of denying it, to be able to say, right now, I am really angry. Now,
Yes.
everything that I feel is valid and okay, but it doesn't mean my behavior is acceptable in this way. So I'm going to be angry, and I'm
Yep.
going to go make myself a sandwich and sit down somewhere and self-soothe my own anger so as
Mhm.
not to attack or throw darts or bullets at my partner. Let
Yeah.
me go deal with what really angered me and then come back and say, I was upset, right? And I didn't want to attack. I'm not at war with you. I'm upset
Right.
about behavior. I'm not at war with you. And that's important.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I feel like we can go about this for a while, but it is even understanding that a lot of times that anger or whatever else that you're feeling really is not even what y'all were talking about. It's something deep within that has been triggered. And so,
Yeah.
and so it is really, really important. All therapists are not created equal. And
Mhm.
so I think that it's really, really important to get to someone that specializes in what you need.
Mhm.
So how
Mhm.
can you speak to that a little bit? Like, just all therapists are not. I know people that are like, I went to therapy and it didn't work. I'm like,
Yeah.
you didn't see the right type of therapist. So
Yeah, so I hear that. We hear that a lot. I went to therapy, it didn't work. There's so much that goes into that, into your expectations.
yeah,
So I encourage people um, to find a therapist that you connect with, right? There, so with vulnerability, there has to be some type of connection. When
yeah,
you use platforms, there's a lot of different platforms you can search. Go with therapists that offer a free consultation. Have a one-on-one, face-to-face, on camera. See if you like their energy, their voice,
mhm,
their whatever, and they will tell you some of the models and the theories that they subscribe to. But
yeah,
find a therapist that um that you connect with. And I know they can list credentials and schools of thought and all of that, but so much more is just in the relationship. So
yes,
I encourage you to Do a little bit of research and figure out, oh yeah, right now I kind of want to work with trauma. So it would be important to look and see that somebody has a little bit of background, or at least does trauma informed, meaning I don't diminish trauma existed, although I may not dig into trauma, right? So look for, do a little bit of research and figure out what you need. You may not necessarily need one particular type, but it just may look for depth, right?
Yeah.
Look for a therapist that has dealt with issues that align with you more than necessarily a particular model.
Yes, I love that. Very, very important. Well, my good, beautiful spirit, my good friend. My last question before I go, I'm asking all the women this month. I want you to tell us one thing that you have found along your journey, like one lesson that you can share that may inspire or empower another woman.
Oh, there's been so many. And as a therapist, let me turn that brain on. Okay, because there's so many.
You can give us a couple.
Okay, so I'm going to give you two.
Okay.
And one of the things that I speak on so often is a concept called radical acceptance. And radical acceptance is just this idea of, very simply put, it is what it is. And that may include, I may feel sad. I may not know how to do this well. Yeah. I may be a little heavier than I want this day, right? I may whatever, but it's being able to look at yourself and say, I accept, I won't resist, I won't fight against what is. It doesn't mean it will always be. And it doesn't mean it's wrong or right? I release myself from the judgment of it.
Yes.
It is, and I am who I am in this moment, right? We are judged enough as women. There's so much judgment. Yes. What would it look like if we were less judgmental and less critical of ourselves? Yeah. So being able to hold yourself in a space of this just radical acceptance of your experience and who you are. Yeah. So that's my favorite. And the last one is a quote that helped me during a time of indecision, when I just couldn't decide. I was so tied to the outcome of wrong or right that I stayed stuck. This quote was so simple and profound, and it came across my Facebook feed, and it said, "You are not a tree, move."
Oh, that is so good. That is so good. It's so simple. I love it.
Move.
Girl, you got some t-shirt posts today. You are not a tree.
Move. Change your situation. There's no wrong or right. Move.
You can do it.
Do something.
I love that. I always tell people, honey, as long as you're on this side of heaven, baby, you still had time. So come on, boo. Yes, you are not a tree, baby. Move.
Move. Do something. Yes. So it's been so beautiful. Thank you so much for having me today.
This was welcome. I am so happy you schedules aligned and we were able to do this, honey. You are dropping some nuggets today. So tell everyone how they can meet you, find you. If you are in the Atlanta area, are you taking clients? Are you not taking clients right now?
So I am on Psychology Today is the profile, the network site where you can find also other amazing therapists in your area. But I am able to work in the state of Georgia. I take clients in person and virtually. So you can find me. If you look through Psychology Today, you look at my name, Haya Devonish. I work currently at 2 private practices, north side and south side of the city. I'm at the Walk of Life as well as Seekwise Counsel. But yes, so you can find me, and I would love to work with clients in the state of Georgia. Also, I am a certified premarital counseling trainer. So if you are a counselor or therapist, or you do any type of work with couples in that capacity, and you'd like to reach out to me, please do so. I think I can share my email address, but reach out to me and I can give you training or help certify you so that you can teach other couples and navigate premarital counseling with them as well.
I love that. Go ahead and give your email address. We're going to have her link, and everything will be attached in the description, but go ahead and give it.
Okay. It is Haya, Haya, at higherbeginnings.com. Haya at higherbeginnings.com.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, beautiful spirit.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful day.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, family, this has been another, baby, if that wasn't a divine intervention, I don't know what was, honey. Oh my goodness, all of the beautiful nuggets that were dropped today. I thank you guys for joining us. I hope you picked up something in this episode that helped you to get out of your own way, boo. That's what this is about. Have you been inspired to empower you to do whatever it is that God has called you to do while you are on this side of heaven? You still have time, honey. It's not too late. And so I just challenge you to take that. You don't have to be 20 years old to start something new, to start over, right? If you want to start over, if it's been in your spirit to start over, baby, this is your message. This message is for you. And so you know how I do, your girl, I aspire to inspire until I expire, honey. That's what I'm doing. What you doing, boo? I see you tomorrow. I will have another amazing woman for you to. That's what I'm. Shit, I almost had it. Okay. I aspire to inspire until I expire. That's what I'm doing. What you doing, boo? Join me tomorrow. I have another amazing woman.